Chinese are now building their police station here, even in Asaba. And they don't want you, they don't want their citizens to stay in the same cell with you. They are building, Chinese has police station here in Nigeria, building their own Chinese police station. Look at how Africans have sold their soul to Jesus. You sold your energy to Jesus. You sold your common sense to Jesus. You sold your land to Jesus. That is why when you sell your land, a land here that was provided to you by your ancestor, in order to get a visa to travel to America, you still thank Jesus.
Now, you clearly just heard what the African man had to state about what's going on over in his homeland. How it is that the governments and the people have freely given over their land and resources and whatever else that you can think of to a whole nother group of people that came from somewhere else. And now that whole other group of people is pretty much taken over to the point where they themselves are creating their own establishments in that country. He stated how they're having their own jails. You got to pay very close attention when you have somebody from another country coming into your country and they're establishing and building their own jail system. That should be very telling on how this situation and problems are going to get way worse. And the one thing that Black Americans have tried to tell other people out there in the diaspora is to not be so kind, right? Don't freely just give over everything. If you are, in a sense, to give something, make sure it's not a lot, make sure it's not much, and make sure you charge for it, and make sure that even if you give it directly to people, they don't directly own it, right? That's what they do in Japan. You can't be an American and go over to Japan and you're automatically about to buy up land. How many Mark Zuckerbergs or Oprahs have you ever heard of going over to Japan and just buying up 25% of land directly out there and then fencing and gating it in? They can't, because the Japanese don't allow that. You could come there and rent. You could come there to stay, even maybe for a lifetime, but you are not going to sit up there and own some land in Japan. They're not about to allow you to do that because they understand how it is that Western society is. They understand the greed of the rich, and they're not for it. So I wish that Africa would take a couple of pointers from Japan and maybe even some other places on how it is that they should deal with their land. Because again, Africa is one of the most mineral rich continents on this planet. There's a specific reason why everybody is trying to vie, everybody is trying to fight, everybody is trying to put their hands directly on Africa, because you have this area here, right? So people already missed the train ticket when it dealt with China 20 or 30 years ago, right? If you look at images of some of the great cities of China now, look at them 20 or 30 years ago, they wasn't looking that great. That's what development and time basically gets you, right? With time, anything can grow, anything can flourish. So now you have a lot of people looking at, man, I missed the first wave when it came to China. I'm not going to miss the second and the third wave. The second and the third wave is going to be Africa and India. Africa and India. And sooner or later, at a certain point in time, you're also going to start to see South America start to grow, start to enrich. But I'm going to say that's going to be the last one. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because when you look at South America and how it is valued and what it has, South America is one of our main areas where, the abundance of oxygen comes from because of all of the trees, right? So if at a moment in time that you start to have an influx of people move into South America, you're going to start to see a major decline when it deals with the oxygen around the world. And you're going to start to see a major decline in a lot of other things too. So that's why I'm saying that South America is going to be the last one. But again, when it deals with Africa, this is a pretty, sad thing. And a lot of people are not going to see it coming. A lot of people are not going to understand it, because a lot of people are ignorant of the things that are specifically taking place, even around them, as they're seeing it. They're very ignorant of those things that are taking place around them. And as I stated before, a lot of people don't happen to care about the things that are going on unless it's specifically affecting and happening to them. It's affecting their food, it's affecting their water, it's affecting their air, it's affecting their jobs, the living situation, the medical, the kids, their livelihood, their lifestyle. Up until things start realistically affecting them, that's the only time that they legitimately actually start to care. And as I keep stating before, by the time that people actually wake up and start to care, it's already too late.